Folks, a lot of you are not going to like what I'm about to tell you about my home state of California. Now, let me ask you a question. On a national election for president, vice president, and so forth, national, including every state, including California, why do they able to tell us the results on election night or the next morning? Okay? Why? But California cannot tell the results of local races for governor and for the Los Angeles County, the mayor of Los Angeles. There's something bad going on, folks. And it's being investigated. And it needs to be investigated. And I hope they find the culprits and take legal action against them. Folks, you know, and let's talk about Los Angeles. Mayor Bass is way ahead. Guy Pratt right behind her. Then the other gal, what's her name? Mayana, something like that. I forget her name. Okay? Nobody really knew her name. But now, all of a sudden, she's rising. Folks, today is June 5th. Election day was on the 2nd, correct? Now, what we think right now, that, and this is a primary, this is not for the election. This is a primary, okay? There's a big difference. And you got to know that. Now, that gal Marion is rising really quick. So it might be two Democrats vying who's going to run for mayor, and it'd be Karen Bass again. Okay? Why? Why, folks? Very simple. Okay? We in California, whether you like it or not, all right, live in a dictatorship country. Yeah, you heard me. Dictatorship controlled by the Democrats. Okay? There has not been a Republican mayor in Los Angeles for over 30 years. Has not been a Republican governor for over 20 years. Those are true facts, folks. Okay? Hello, Rick. Thank you. All right? Folks, last night, 24,000 votes were turned in to the Los Angeles County. 24,000. Okay, that's a lot of votes. 24,000. You know how many votes Pratt got out of those 24,000? Can anybody take a guess? Come on. Leave me a comment. Let me know how many you think. Okay? America is doomed, JC. Nino, how are you? 13,000, you say, huh? Okay. Eric, you got it right, Eric. Okay? Eric got it right, folks. Zero. Not one vote. Folks, that's mathematically impossible. But that's what happened. Okay? Yeah. You know, folks, it's going to take them 35 days, they said, before they have final vote. 35 5 days. Why? Folks, I can count those votes myself in less time than that. All right? Cheeseburger wants to meet me on Rodeo Drive. Maybe tomorrow I'll take a walk there again. You folks seem to like Rodeo Drive. Folks, for those of you who just came in, please subscribe, hit that like button. I think I need about 20 to 30 more before I get to 17,000. So please, help me out. How you doing? Okay? So hit that like button, folks, and subscribe. All right? It don't cost you a penny. Okay? And do I know Triple T? No, I do not. Okay, maybe I do. Okay? And folks, listen. There's a big question here. Okay, and let's go to the governor race here. Tom Steyer was way, way behind. All right? It was up to Becerra, I can't say his name. Okay? And Steve Hilton. Okay? And now Steve Hilton's losing. Why? Folks, if I ever saw something being fixed in my life, it's these elections, these primary elections that are happening in California. Hello, Stila City. How are you? Thank you for coming, my friend. Cool Bob, Nino. Huh? Yes, Trump did call it out. Okay? Folks, as of January 26th, and I want to read this to you. State laws require drop boxes in 15 states. They permitted them in 14 states and prohibited them in 11. Now, I don't know what all those states are, but California is one that is permitted. Drop boxes. Now, a drop box is sort of like a mail in, but you drop it in a voter registration box. Okay? Now, I vote by mail. I have been ever since I could remember. But I sign the back of my envelope. I do everything the right way, and I drop it in the mailbox. Now, if you vote by mail, you will see it says no postage required if mailed in the United States. So I don't even know why they had these drop boxes. But in California, you could put ballots in drop boxes right now and they're going to count them, from my understanding. Folks, that's illegal in my book. Okay? Thank you, Chris. Chris MUFC. How are you, buddy? Okay? Of the 10 states that did not mention drop boxes in state law, 8 had at least some jurisdiction using drop boxes as of January 2026, while 2 did not. 26 states had laws or administrative rules requiring certain security measures for Dropbox. Well, I see where they got the drop boxes around here, and I don't see nothing security at all. Okay? Richard, is it illegal? It should be illegal. Okay? It should be illegal. But folks, I've been here for over 50 years in the state of California. When I moved here, it was so great. It's everything you think that the California dream was about. Okay? You all heard the song California Dreaming? Okay? That's what California was, folks. Now it's a place where everybody I talk to tells me they're leaving. In this building alone, I talked to two other residents. You know where they're moving to? They're moving to Florida. And folks, I might be right behind them. All right? California is the anus of America. You got that right. Well, folks, there is an investigation going on, underway. All right? And Donald Trump said it himself, okay, that it needs to be investigated. And he's correct. It needs to be investigated. All right? Federal prosecutors say multiple election fraud investigations are underway in California as officials continue counting ballots from this week's primary election. The announcement came Friday from U.S. Attorney Bill Esseley, I think I said, might have said it wrong, who said his office is working with the FBI on several election fraud investigations, but did not identify any specific cases or provide details about the allegation being examined. Folks, if they do their investigation right, they're going to find it. Okay? They're going to dig deep. I hope that how they do, and that they're not just talking about it. Okay, which happens so many times. All right, you're right. It's illegal if you get caught. Agent Orange says. Protecting the integrity of California's election is a top priority for my office. Ashley wrote in a post on X. We will follow the evidence wherever it leads and prosecute any violations of federal election law to the fullest extent. Well, they're investigating California for federal laws. I don't know what those laws are. Okay? Me and a friend tried finding them and we couldn't find the specific laws. Ashley's comments came the day after President Donald Trump claimed on True Social that California. There's our Beverly Hills Police Department at work. All right, folks, subscribe and like, please. All right. Donald Trump claimed on Truth Social that California election was being investigated by federal prosecutors, alleging big cheating by the Democrats in California. All right. He did not immediately provide evidence to support the allegation. The U.S. Attorney's Office declined to comment Thursday when asked by KTLA about Trump's claim. In Friday's statement, Ashley criticized California's election system, arguing that universal vote by mail and the state's lack of voter identification requirement create conditions where fraud can go undetected and unpunished. All right? Thank you, Steel City, saying I'm a legend. I don't know about that, but folks, one thing you know, I come here, I tell you what my feelings are, I tell you the truth, okay? And I come with receipts. You know that for sure. All right? So, folks, help me get that 17,000 subscriber mark, okay, to be a little milestone for me, okay? And hit that like button, okay? California election officials and voting rights advocates have long defended the state's voting system pointing to safeguards that include voter registration, verification, signature, matching, and ballot tracking. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't realize that when they vote by mail, that they also have to sign the back of the envelope. Some people forget that. Okay? Now, the law does require, I found this law, that if they find one and it don't have a signature, they got to call you to verify it. Okay? Now, I know it's signed, so I didn't get any phone calls. But I want to know if any of you vote by mail, forgot to sign the back of it. Did you get a phone call? Okay. Are you in California? Yeah, they got dogs voting. Go MAGA. Yeah, dogs vote. Okay. Oh, Christ. The places they got, what's going Trump, he don't have the proof yet, Agent Orange. Okay, so let's call it like it is. Okay? All right, he doesn't have the proof yet. It's going to take an investigation. All right? Now, folks, I put down Trump a lot because I call and I tell the truth. Okay, but this is one occasion. Okay, I'm talking about the state of California. I'm talking about Governor Newsom. I'm talking about our Democratic Senate. Okay, I'm talking about our Democratic Secretary of State. All right, Democrat, 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 Democrat. Okay, they got a stronghold on California. All right, and Californians are going to allow them to keep that for the rest of their freaking life. Now, don't get me pissed off over here, okay? Because I am pissed. Very pissed. 35 more days. All they're doing is maneuvering, okay, both in the governor race and the Los Angeles mayor race. All right? We had two Democrats running against each other. That's what they're doing. They're eliminating Pratt. They're eliminating Hilton. Okay? Now I don't care who you voted for. Whoever you voted for, whether you're left or you're right, you got to admit this is wrong. And it should not be happening in the United States, the land of the free, where we supposedly have certain rights. But you don't have those rights in California. Okay? You think you do because they tell you and you listen to them. All right? Because people get brainwashed so easily. You know why they get brainwashed today, folks? People don't read, number one. A lot of people cannot read. Our education system has gone to shit. Okay? Why is it? UCLA here. The ones with the highest average are the Chinese who come here to go to college. Wanderer, how are you? All right, there's my friend Wanderer. Thank you so much for coming. Okay? But folks, why? Why do foreigners come to this country and have higher grades and more education than the people who live here in the land of the free, the United States of America? All right? You're right, Mickey. All right, Mickey Perry, thank you. Mimi, how are you? I'm happy to see you. Okay, you feel the same way I do. All right, thank you. Okay, folks, look at We all have a right to feel whatever we want, think what we want. We should have that right. Okay, do we really have it? My answer is no, we don't. Okay? They feed us all this bullshit. Okay? And most people gobble it right up. They watch Fox News. Fox News don't give you news, folks. They're giving you their opinions. Now, Fox News is primarily people over 65 years old. Okay, the old people watch Fox News. That's a big audience. The same with CNN. Okay, and we'll call them too. All right. And now you got this new Live Nation coming about. All right. Well, it's more they lean to the right. We don't have a news channel, folks. Okay, that's partisan. All right. They could talk to you about what's really happening. All we see are people giving us what they think. Like you come here, you see how I think. Okay? Now, a lot of YouTube. I watch I watch these youngsters. You got some people in their 20s, very intelligent and bright. This one kid, Adam Mockler, all right, he's a Democrat, Cold Stone, but the guy's intelligent. And then you got the MAGA young people, and they're intelligent, okay? And I try to get both sides of a story. That's what you got to do. In my former life, we would have a sit down, okay? And in the sit down, okay, let's say it's Agent Orange and uh, Cheezilla Capone over there, okay? And Agent Orange, there's a problem. I got to sit down. I need to listen to both sides. And then I make a decision. And that's where there's three sides to a story come from. Yours, mine, and the truth. Do you understand what I just said? That's how a sit down happens. I had to do a sit down in Florida. I handled it. Okay? One guy was a friend of mine from Utica, New York, my home base. Okay? And you know what? I had to go against him. I had to go against him because he was wrong. He robbed the wrong guy. He robbed the connected guy who was under somebody. And there was proof. There was a phone call because the guys he sent to do the robbery, they couldn't find, they had the guy tied up and they couldn't find where the money was. So they called him from their phone, and we had that phone. So I had to go against them, okay? And folks, I can go against a lot of these people in politics because it's the dirtiest, most crooked business. And I'm going to say it again. You've heard me say it before, okay? Our Congress, Senate, and the executive branch, they make the mafia look like Cub Scouts. Let me repeat that. They make the mafia look like Cub Scouts. They're so crooked. James, you're totally wrong there, James. Did you know Roy DeMille? He believed there's three sides to a story, too. We believe that in the life. Okay? Yeah, James DeMille. All right? James. Roy DeMille. Hmm. Somebody wrote me today, I forgot who it was. They said, Ori, you were a little bit shorter on your show. You know, folks, a lot has changed on YouTube and other social media platforms. Not just me, it's happening to everybody. You see it, unless you're paying not to see commercials. You're seeing two or three commercials. You got to hit skip, skip, skip. All right? Sky Santiago, okay? I was born in 1944. So get your facts and check out when World War II was, okay? And figure out if I could have been in it, okay? See, people come up with stupid questions, all right, that they got no knowledge about, but they might have heard there was a World War II, and they want to say because I'm old that I was in it, okay? Oh, Mandy, without you, kid, I tell you, folks, we get so many trolls coming here. But as I was talking, okay, you're getting to see more advertisements. And I don't know why. I don't know if I'm shadow banned or what because of the comments that I make. All right. And, but I think I'm being shadow banned because where I used to get 4 or 5 thousand views, now I'm getting 4 or 500 if I'm lucky. Okay. Mm. And you know, the other thing is scrolling. Okay. Now we all do it. Me, I'm as guilty as anybody else. I scroll until I find something that I want to listen to. And then I'll listen to the entire thing. People don't do that, okay? If you notice, yesterday I posted a video. It's a very good video, in my opinion. But I only got 60 something views on it, okay? And now, the reason I did the video, and I'm going to try doing more of them, is because I didn't know this, but A Will, are you here, buddy? Okay. Uh, my friend A Will wrote me and he checked out my YouTube channel and he said I get more views on my videos. I don't see it, so I don't know what he's looking at. You know, I got a lot of views when we were talking about Diddy, okay? Uh, yeah, Slim, you know, I don't know much about this Carmelo Anthony. Uh, hmm. You know, kid, Agent Orange wrote me about this kid out of Orange County who scammed 300 million from investors, Ponzi scheme. What do I think of him showing up to court in his Rolls Royce? Well, if they got the evidence against him and everything, all right, he won't have that Rolls Royce very long, okay? And he won't have a lot of his toys that he has. I got to tell you a story. You talk about Ponzi scheme. Many years ago, Jerry Zimmerman come to me, and he had a guy out of Torrance. You folks know where Torrance, California is? And it's not far from here. Okay, folks, subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button and like before I get, you're going to want to hear this story. Okay? About a Ponzi. It wasn't a Ponzi scheme. The guy was legitimate. Okay? He was a Chinese guy, I think. All right? And he was going to prison. And he was very worried because he would not be able to talk, on he was a what do they call it? Uh, multi-level cell. He sold vitamins and herbs. It was a multi-level company, okay? And I'll never forget. I had a meeting with him at the Four Seasons, and we were sitting outside the Four Seasons when a Rolls Royce pulls up, and I see this guy getting out, alligator shoes, okay? And he came in. We had a nice talk, and I told him for me to begin helping him, I needed 15,000. I always charge a retainer, folks, because I accomplish what I say I'm going to do. Okay? But I don't work for free. You got to understand that. And you got a problem, there's some situation, okay? I can work it out, all right, and help you, but I need a retainer, okay? And it's not a couple $100, all right? So I want to make that clear. And boom, he took out his checkbook, wrote me a check for 15 grand. And then I told him I could bring in a lawyer. The lawyer wanted 15 grand. He wrote another check for 15 grand. Now we studied this whole case because the guy was going, he had to leave. He had to turn himself into a federal prison. And the reason he did, okay, what he got caught doing, see, the FBI, they thought it was a drug, that he was dealing drugs. He used to bring artifacts, expensive artifacts. He used to get all his vitamins and herbs. He got them out of China. And they thought he was bringing drugs. Well, they were totally wrong. They found out it was artifacts, okay, and he wasn't paying taxes on it. And that's why he got a few years. I forgot how many years he got, 3 to 5 years, okay. And so now, through a very dear friend of mine, I brought the situation to her because she was plugged in politically. Now, what we had to do, we had to get this guy so he could make unlimited calls from to conduct his business in prison. Okay, it was no easy task. And she went to her contacts here in California, and they went to Washington, D.C. They met with the head of the Department of Justice. I forget her name now. It was a she, okay? Way before Pam Bondi. What the hell was her name? Anybody there remember? Huh? Folks, are you subscribing here? Okay? And liking. Come on, let's hit that like. Keep punching that like, folks. And get me to 50 over here. And whether you do or you don't, I don't give a shit. I'm getting to the point that, why do I come here and talk for? Okay? But anyway, we did get him. I delivered on my promise. We got him. He ended up doing his time at Boron, which is since closed, but it was a country club. Okay? Just wanted to throw that in there. You said, Ponzi scheme. He was not a Ponzi scheme. He's still in business. Okay? He's out of prison now. All right? All right, folks. I'm not going to talk no more. I gave you all the information I could. I'm really fed up about this voter fraud bullshit here in California, what they're doing. Okay? Why in the world? Okay? In California included. No freaking difference. Why doesn't it take California 35 days to get their polls and their results in for a presidential election? which is much older. You got all states included. Okay? But just to get a county, the Los Angeles County, and they can't do that, there's definitely something wrong. And how in the world? Hey, folks, hit the like button. Okay? Everybody, it's Friday, the sun is shining. What are you going to do for this weekend, folks? Anybody got great ideas? Any idea what you're going to do this weekend? How many of you folks are from California that are here? I know Agent Orange, you are. Okay. We have anybody here from California? Mm. You know, folks, I was going to talk to you about scrolling. I was going to do a whole show just on scrolling. Let's talk about it now. Because I don't know how YouTube counts a view. I don't know how they do it. But you notice you have a lot of people coming in. You see the numbers of who we have here go up, it goes down. Okay. I don't know if they're counting as views or not. All right. But you know, I did a little thing about scrolling. Let's see here. Bad news. See, I come and give you a lot of good news. All right. Your brain is built for threats. Ever wondered why bad news seems to grab your attention more than good news? You can thank evolution. Your brain is designed to zero in on danger, even if it's a glowing screen instead of in a jungle. Certain areas of the brain are wired to pay attention to danger, says Kristen Stein, PsyD neuropsychologist with Hartford Healthcare. That's how our ancestors survived. Today, the predators aren't in the bushes, they're in the headlines and on social media. Every troubling post gives your brain a little dopamine hit, the same chemical tied to reward and reinforcement. That's why you keep scrolling, even when you know it's making you feel worse. I hope some of the people who do scrolling hear that. Okay? I see that the people we have here, I have very loyal people, respectful people. I don't have a lot. Okay? We're getting close to that 17,000. So help me, please subscribe. Folks, please hit that like button. They say it helps the algorithm. I don't know nothing about the algorithm, but you know, hit it. Come on, give me a like. We're at 39. Do we have one more person there who has not hit that like button yet? Hmm? Where the prices will go down, Donald Trump says. Okay, folks, I'm leaving. I'm going to go out and take another walk today. All right, so everybody have a great weekend. I might be on, I might not be. All right, I don't know. Depends what comes up in the news and what happens. Okay? All my love and respect to you all. Take care.